Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. Welcome. I'm the author of the book, Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. This was my little project last year. Great time putting that together. We deal with blood sugar issues all the time with patients. I'm going to talk today about autoimmune, and we'll be talking about blood sugar with that as well. So welcome all of you that are new to our videos. We love getting information out there. We have Functional Medicine Center here in Fort Collins where I practice. We have additional office in Phoenix, Arizona. Great practitioners down there. We use a true underlying fix that imbalance, let's get the body healed approach to health. And how we do that is we do an in-depth blood work analysis, do a brain map, look at the body as a whole as opposed to just, oh, here you've got your little thyroid thing, so let's give you thyroid medication or a supplement or whatever. That's not going to fix it. We've got to get to the underlying why. So, all right. Here we go. Autoimmune. Autoimmune is rampant. Over 190 named autoimmune conditions out there. 8-to-1 female to male ratio for that. We've got the third leading cause of death when you put them all together. Hey Michelle, good to see you out there. When you lump all autoimmune conditions together, it's the third leading cause. Pretty darn amazing when you think about it. So what do we have going on? Well, we've got to come up with this thought of why. Why is the body going haywire? Why would the body want to attack itself? Autoimmune is where your immune system comes in and destroys its own tissue. So normally, let's say a virus is in the body, that immune system should attack that virus and destroy it and be done with it. But that's happening to people's own body tissue. Rheumatoid arthritis, it happens in the joints. MS, like my mom had, along the myelin sheath around the nerve. My wife had it to her platelets. They removed her spleen. People can have it to their brain. They can have it to their hair, alopecia. All types of different things are going to be attacked by the body. I just found the other day an 11-year-old, she has ANA high, which is lupus, things like that, that type of autoimmune, and Hashimoto's, which is attacking the thyroid. She has 2 autoimmune conditions and she's only 11 years old. Why is that happening? Well, lots of reasons out there, and we could go on and on for that, but I want to give you today 3 things that you can do now to start stabilizing your body, to start calming down that immune reaction and getting that body into a better state. So hey Debbie, good to see you out there. Is type 1 diabetes reversible? I assume that that's what you're talking about. So we have not seen type 1 diabetes reversible, but what we have seen is people that have type 1 diabetes, they can stabilize their blood sugar 100 to 180 almost all day long if they do the right things with eating. So we haven't seen that pancreas rebuild from that. Not saying it can't happen. We haven't seen that yet, but people can stabilize that blood sugar dramatically. So there's a lot that can be done even for type 1 diabetes. So again, first thing that we look at is with autoimmune that you need to stabilize the blood sugar. Just like my book says, blood sugar doesn't lie. We need to know that that blood sugar is stabilized all day long. What happens when the blood sugar spikes up or the blood sugar drops down? We rev up the immune response and we destroy more tissue. So what does that mean? Well, you've got to keep that stable all day long. And that's why a lot of years ago, I started having people test their blood sugar. We couldn't just go off of glycemic index. We couldn't just go off of assumptions and go, oh, banana's bad, but sweet potato is good. But guess what? Some people, sweet potato is worse than white potato. Some people can eat banana and be totally fine. Some people, oatmeal, they'll hit 165. Other people, 105. And we don't want somebody over 110. So there is no gold standard for what is going to keep your blood sugar stabilized. The lows actually are just as bad as the highs. What does that mean? Well, every time that blood sugar crashes down, revs up that immune response, and we create more damage. We destroy more tissue. So we've got to be able to stabilize this blood sugar. That's why we use the blood sugar monitor with every single patient that comes in. Even that little 11-year-old I'm talking about, she's going to be using a blood sugar monitor because we have to know. It's too late to go, well, let's guess, right? Maybe if you're just kind of cruising along and life's not too bad, follow the glycemic index. But if you've got autoimmune, you've got to know exactly what your blood sugar is doing. All right, then we talk about vitamin D. Number 2 thing we need to do is stabilize your vitamin D, even closer to that 80 level. We usually say 60 to 80 for patients, but vitamin D, if you have autoimmune, your vitamin D needs to be up at the 80 level. Vitamin D modulates the immune response, meaning it turns it up and turns it down at the right time. If it's up all the time, really revved up, that's going to be destroying. If it's down, that means it's going to not be able to attack when it needs to, and you're going to be having other problems. Vitamin D is crucial. How much do you need to take? I don't know. You need to take enough to get up to 80, whatever that is. So you have to test, retest over and over and over. So number 2, you have to get your vitamin D optimized. All right, number 3 is you have to figure out if you have underlying infections. This is so common. We see it all the time with people. The 2 biggest things, bacterial and viral underlying infections. Debbie, if you're in the sun all the time, do you still need vitamin D? Most people need vitamin D, even when they're in the sun all the time. But here's the easy thing. Get it tested in your blood work. Then we know. Otherwise, you're just guessing. And especially if somebody has autoimmune, you can't guess what your vitamin D level is. That's just not okay. You've got to get it tested. All right, so number 3, infections, bacteria, virus. A lot of times we have chronic bacteria. Could be in the sinuses, could be in the teeth, root canals, jaw, things like that. Or 90% of the time, it's in the gut. And we have digestive bacteria, bad bacteria, H. pylori, SIBO, all these different things that microbiome is out of balance, and it's causing that immune system to be constantly revved up. So bacteria is huge. Viral is the other one. There's a lot of research coming out now that Epstein-Barr, the virus for mono, is going to be one of the biggest things that is going to stimulate that immune response and cause it to ultimately drive that inflammatory cascade, and it's going to stimulate a lot of immune systems. What can actually happen is that Epstein-Barr virus or other viruses can settle into tissue like your thyroid, and then your body's trying to attack that virus, but it's hitting the thyroid as well as basically it's collateral damage. And so even though your body's not intending to destroy it, even though it's not intending to attack its own tissue like some autoimmunes are, it can happen if there's a viral issue, settles into the tissue. You've got to deal with that. You've got to get rid of those infections. You've got to get the immune system built up to where it can fight that off. So let's recap here, everybody. If you or a loved one's dealing with autoimmune, and I guarantee you know somebody, just like Shannon there, you've got Hashimoto's. That's an autoimmune condition. That's not a thyroid disease. That's an autoimmune disease. You've got to do these 3 things today. You've got to stabilize your blood sugar. You've got to get your vitamin D up to 80. And you've got to address any potential infections that you have going on in your body and get that immune system stabilized and not on this revved up, over-attacking all the time thing. So autoimmune's reversible. My mom's healed from MS. My wife's healed from autoimmune to the brain, autoimmune to the platelets, and they are functioning optimally. So the body can heal. We see it all the time. Drop us a line if you've got any questions. If you or a loved one needs this information, needs to be inspired, needs to know that their life can get better and that they can create the life that ultimately they want in this world, have them watch this video, like or follow this page, share it with them, give this message of hope. So, all right, guys, stay strong out there. Let me know what other questions you have.